A plane crash, an island inhabited by cannibals, and a desperate struggle for survival. Sounds ordinary, right? But this game doesn't just make you struggle to survive. It constantly challenges you, drawing you in and cornering you with each step. The forest, in particular, thanks to its AI support, remembers your playstyle. It observes your decisions and actions and adjusts itself accordingly. In short, the more professionally you play, the more difficult the game becomes. The more strategic your actions, the more intelligently the dangers ahead unfold. This truly immerses us in a completely different experience. The forest isn't just a survival game. It contains very dark, very deep stories. From artificially created creatures to devices that bring evil people to life, many things are part of this story. All of these are silently written into the game's background, its infrastructure. If you know the story, you can see much more in the game itself. Especially with the upcoming new game, we all agree that this story will be taken to a different universe. Let's begin our story and find out together what this game has in store for us. Before we get to the video, I'll briefly mention a giveaway. To win the prizes you see on screen, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and write "I participated" in the comment. This giveaway is a collaboration between this channel and an anonymous YouTuber. The giveaway has been postponed. The winners will be announced in the next video. Now, let's get to the video. Enjoy watching. The whole story begins with a plane. We are on a trip with our family. A normal flight, an ordinary morning, until something goes wrong. The plane completely loses control, crashes to the ground, and when we open our eyes, we see snow everywhere. It's silent, cold, and pure white. In the midst of that event, we realize only one thing. Our son is not with us. Someone has kidnapped him. At that very moment, we lose consciousness again, and our eyes close. Once we open our eyes, everything seems much clearer. We now have a goal: to survive on this island and find our child. But surviving on this island isn't as easy as it seems, because this isn't an ordinary island. There are wild predators hidden deep in the forest, and they can attack us at any moment. But the cannibals are actually the most normal part of this story, because the island has even more terrifying, stranger creatures. Especially in the areas inhabited by cannibals, it's possible to encounter hidden creatures. These creatures are neither human nor non-human. They are strange, terrifying beings formed by the aggregation and merging of many humans. These creatures, which can move like tarantulas, but also possess human-like characteristics, await us around every terrifying corner. How they were formed and where they came from is initially unknown, but as the game progresses, everything gradually becomes clear. In the very center of the island stands a giant obelisk. This obelisk is no ordinary stone. It emits a mysterious, powerful force that affects everything around it. All the strange, mutated creatures on the island originate from this obelisk's energy. Centuries ago, the first people to arrive on the island discovered this. According to information learned from guides, the first people to find the island had actually accessed the obelisk's energy very easily. However, shortly after learning this, some of those people also realized they were collaborating with cannibals. Suddenly, a storm came, and their ships were stranded on the island. The first people who arrived begged God to let them escape the island. Everything they saw, every event they experienced, began to reveal the island's terrifying face. All the cannibalism and horrific transformations, in their view, were the work of the devil. They began to try and ward off the devil. However, the energy on the island had nothing to do with the devil. It was something different. Almost all of those people were killed, not a single one remaining. Those who survived learned that the transformed people were no longer their former selves. The obelisk had altered them. The stone's power transformed people into different beings. However, this transformation did not affect their own strength. It turned them into empty, soulless beings, acting only on centuries past. No one learned what was inside the island, what it concealed, or perhaps those who knew remained silent, until a genetic research company called Sahara discovered the island. The island's name is no coincidence. They understood the island's energy, studied the obelisk, and established their company there. They bought the island and built secret underground facilities around the obelisk. These facilities surrounded the entire island, interconnected and invisible from the outside. Research was conducted here for years. They investigated the obelisk's power, beginning to learn how the island's beings evolved. But what interested them most was this. This stone could resurrect dead creatures. Yes, this obelisk possessed an energy capable of bringing even a dead being back to life. The scientists at the company, especially Dr. Matthias Kross, the most important figure at the facility, aimed to harness this energy. Their intentions weren't necessarily malicious, as they were conducting these experiments for young children struggling with genetic diseases. They aimed to heal these helpless, sick children. But we had a problem. The obelisk's energy didn't have healing property. It transformed. Instead of healing, the children experimented on began to turn into terrifying mutants. Before realizing this horrifying truth, the doctor's own daughter became a victim of these experiments. She couldn't survive and died at the facility as a result of the experiments he himself had conducted, and the doctor changed after that terrible day. She had only one goal in mind: to resurrect her daughter. She became obsessed with the obelisk. She tried to understand it, studied it, researched it, and finally obtained some information. To harness the obelisk's energy of resurrection and death, a price was required: a living sacrifice. When a living sacrifice was offered to the obelisk, it was possible to resurrect a different body. But this sacrifice had to be someone ordinary. It had to be a small child, young, innocent, and still alive. And that's when we enter the scene. Our plane crashes while flying over this island. And it's no coincidence. The doctor planned it. His presence there at that time is also no coincidence. As soon as the plane crashes, he kidnaps our son, because our son is exactly what he wants. He wants to give our son to the obelisk to bring his own daughter into the world. We are covered in blood, desperate, but determined to survive on this island and save our son. We flee from mutants, fight cannibals, and strive to unravel the island's terrifying mysteries. Each day, we learn a little more about what happened. Finally, we discover the giant rift in the middle of the island, caused by a meteor impact. We walk through the cave and reach the iron gates of the facility. As we enter, we discover clues suggesting that someone from recent history visited this area. Toys, belongings, and clothes belonging to a little girl. And later, we reach the laboratory. The doctor lies on the floor, his body covered in blood, and he is dead. At that moment, all the pieces fell into place. The doctor had sacrificed our son to the obelisk and resurrected his own daughter. But every experiment had a price. He began to solve the problems created by all these chaotic, crazy experiments using the same chaotic tactics. But this time, he paid the price himself. He was murdered by his daughter, Megan. Even if you reach the doctor's daughter, recognizing her is nearly impossible. She's been transformed by the obelisk's power, becoming something else entirely, something like a hybrid of alien and human. Or perhaps that was the obelisk's true intention. This stone truly came from space. They threw it to Earth to foster the proliferation of a different kind, a different civilization. For centuries, it has fueled these evolutions, transforming humans into beings serving its purposes. Megan has now become one of them. What we need to do is clear. Kill Megan and use the doctor's machine to resurrect your son. But there's something we haven't learned. The machine only works with living bodies. Even if we kill Megan, we also destroy her power. And we need that power to bring our son back to life. We learn this when we kill Megan. We have Megan's body before us, but the power needed for resurrection is gone. To be overwhelmed by a feeling that everything has lost its meaning in that scene. The long days we spent on the island, every minute, every struggle. Was it all for this, for your son? And now we have no chance of bringing him back. But right at that moment, we find another obelisk. This stone is different. It was made for a different purpose. This obelisk controls the magnetic field. This magnetic field damages the systems of the planes passing by, disrupts their connections, disables them, breaks their engines, and crashes those planes. The reason our plane crashed was this stone. That's also why the doctor was there at the right time that day. He was the one who crashed the planes. Not planes he chose by chance, but planes he consciously chose. And he chose the innocent children inside the plane as victims. The game is currently asking us to choose something. On the panel, there's a plane flying overhead. We have two buttons. Either we'll proceed with the doctor's objective, shoot down the planes, take a child from inside, and sacrifice him to bring our son back to life, or we'll destroy the stone that creates this magnetic field. We'll disrupt the entire system. By doing this, we'll both save the plane and ensure that no planes ever crash on the island again. However, we won't be able to bring our son back. Unless we intend to bring our son back, we're stranded on an island that doesn't appear on any map. It's not in any records, Nobody knows where it is, and we'll be forced to struggle to survive forever on this island, teeming with mutated creatures and cannibals. Actually, the game doesn't end here. We can play as much as we want, but we never discover a way out. If we press that button to bring our son back, the plane crashes, a child is sacrificed. We can bring our son back to life. They start rescuing us from the island. But this cycle continues. Planes keep crashing. Decades pass. Planes flying a certain route always disappear in the same area. One plane, two planes, three planes, until they realize there's a common area for all these incidents. They all lose their way at the same coordinate, and that's how they find the island, and they rescue us too. At the end of the forest, we watch the scene after the rescue teams find us. You're on a talk show. Our son is sitting next to us. We're explaining our life, how we survived, how we ended up on the island. As a survivor of the plane crash, fighting cannibals, we've become media darling. The managers even invite us to a logging competition. Just as the competition is about to begin, the host turns his back. At that moment, everything seems fine. But then our son has a breakdown and the screen goes black. What happened that day? Who experienced what? What transpired? Nothing is clear. A considerable amount of time has passed. We're following a map of that island. That map reveals something to us. The island you escaped from was probably just the beginning. It wasn't the only obelisk sent to Earth from space. There are many more on different islands, in different regions. The intention of all those stones is the same, to evolve, to bring the genes of a different species to this world. But we are no longer the same as we once were. The energy of the obelisk didn't stay only on the island. It also affected your genetics. What will happen next, who we are, is no longer clear. We've reached the end of another video. If you enjoyed this video, I make videos like this every week on this channel. If you really don't want to miss out on this kind of content, subscribe for free now. Turn on all notifications and like the video, because everything on this channel is very detailed and high quality. The winners of the giveaway will be announced in the next video, so don't forget to fulfill the participation requirements. You determine the next video with the polls in the community section.